Welcome to an episode of Founder in the Chair. I'm your host, Veena, and my next guest is a South Asian professional and entrepreneur whose story is one of resilience, reinvention, and courage. She is at the beginning of her entrepreneurial journey and openly shares what it's really like to build a business in real time. She isn't speaking from the top of a mountain, she's speaking from the middle of the climb, and that's what makes her story so relatable. Her life has been shaped by cultural expectations, an arranged marriage, and a divorce after around 10 years. That became her turning point in rediscovering who she was and what she wanted from life. Having worked since the age of 15 and built her career through determination rather than the traditional academic route, she now uses her experiences to support women who feel caught between cultural expectations and their own aspirations, reminding them that there is always another path forward. So please join me in giving a warm welcome to our next guest, Parm. Welcome, Parm.
Hi, Veena. Hi, nice to meet you.
How are you?
I'm okay. A little bit nervous, first one, so...
First podcast?
Yes, indeed, yes.
But we're excited to hear your story. I think there's going to be so many women who can relate to what was said in the introduction.
Yeah, that's the point. I think that's definitely the point on that, so...
Yeah. So tell us, looking back on some of the early experiences that shaped who you are today, I mean, you've had a bit of a journey, like we said in the intro. Tell us how it started.
Well, as probably quite a lot of South Asian women can relate, you know, we're in... Obviously, I'm 50 now, so, you know, all that time ago, I was kind of conditioned to grow up and there was a route to follow, a path to follow, and that was go to school, not necessarily get an education. So my brother was probably pushed more for the university side and I wasn't, purely because I was a girl. And they thought, okay, marriage must come first, okay?
Yeah.
And I did kind of go off road a little bit. I left home. For 6 months, I ran away from home.
Wow.
There was a lot.
How old were you then?
I was 15. Wow. And I only left because I grew up in a very white community. And so all my friends were white. My friends were white. And so I wanted to do what they do. On the weekends, I wanted to do not just go to the Godvar on Sunday. I wanted to do other things. And the only way I could physically tell myself that the only way I can get away with doing this, going up for a day out with my friends, is if I leave home. It was the most bizarrest kind of thought process, I know. But that was probably the start of my journey into how I probably became the person I am now. Excuse me. So that happened. And then it was because of that when I came back home after 6 months, my parents decided that, you know, she needs to get married. So, and that's how I kind of fell into that path. It was a little bit forced on, I think, but I love my parents very much now. So I don't blame them for anything. It just happened to be the thing at the time. But I think in that day and age, we lived in a time where, you know, doing something like that was not really, it was really, really badly frowned upon. I mean, these days, kind of, there's a lot happens. It's all on social media, obviously, and people talk about it a lot more. But in those days, we didn't have any of that. We didn't have the internet. We didn't have social media. So everything was kind of kept under the carpet, and it was kept under the enclosed doors. Aunties and uncles were not allowed to know anything.
Oh, God, yeah.
And it was very much that kind of
The
thing.
shame of it, if anyone found out.
Absolutely. But I don't know, I realised that I was a very confident person because I just didn't care. I think the fact that I left home, it gave me this kind of confidence, even though I knew it was a wrong thing to do.
Yeah.
I kind of like thought, no, I can make my own decisions.
I love that.
So,
well, I tried to run away at the age of 16 as well. So I'm 54. So yeah, I can totally relate. I remembered having like black bag full of my stuff, and I was
Same
like,
here.
So where am I going?
Kitchen utensils I packed. It was
Did you?
My thought process. I literally. But the one thing I did, which probably saved me, was I left a note. If I had not left a note, then this would have been on national news 100%. And I don't even dispute that. But all I did was I left a note for my mum, and I left it on my desk, and all it said was, "Don't worry, I'll be back." And that's all I said. And I think my mother still has that note since I was 15. So somewhere.
Wow.
So we don't obviously talk about this anymore with my parents, my daughter definitely does not know about this, although she probably will now.
She's now going to hear it.
Yeah, but it's just one of those things, because it was just one of those things that you just don't talk about stuff like this. And now we have social media, people do want to hear.
How do you feel about, like, how old is your daughter?
14.
So my children are 33 and 29, and they've heard some of the crazy things I did. I mean, I used to climb down the drain pipe, nick my dad's car, didn't have a driving licence.
Yeah.
I mean, I did some really stupid things as well, because we're just of that generation. We weren't allowed, but we wanted to do it because everybody else was allowed.
Absolutely.
So if your daughter does hear this now, does it bother you?
No, because she probably won't understand the constraints that we were probably under in that time, in that culture.
Yeah.
My husband's English, so she's grown up in a very kind of open kind of family environment. She'd probably think, wow, I can't believe you did that, as in she probably doesn't think that that's something that her mother would do.
Yeah.
But in a way, in a weird kind of way, she's probably proud that, you took a step that you knew that you couldn't do in that time and culture, but you did it anyway, knowing the consequences of what may have been. So yeah, I don't know how she'd feel about it, but I don't think she'd look down on me, put it that way. So
you came back at 16.
Yeah.
And then the arranged marriage happened.
I went to India, met a few men.
Okay.
And my dad had said to my mum, like, just take her, just get her married off. I don't want to hear anything about it. Just do it, literally. And then we got to a point, my mum was like, hey, do you really want to do this? I said, no. If you're going to make me do this, I'd rather get married to somebody who's westernized. So then we came back, and then they found somebody, and I got married to him. He was a lovely guy. I'm not going to dispute or kind of shame on his name or anything. He was a lovely person. So it was mostly the family division that drove us apart, namely his family, who were a little bit probably behind times. But yeah, I conformed. I absolutely conformed that time. You do when you're that young. You just don't think about it.
When you say you conformed, so you were 16 then when you got married, or by the time you came back?
By the time I came back and everything happened, I was probably coming up to 17. Yeah, I was probably coming to 17 years old. So, it was just a whirlwind. Just a whirlwind of stuff. I met him once, and I met him in the kitchen of our house, and the only question he asked me was, no one's making you do this. And I said no. And the next time I saw him was like 6 months down the line in the Gurdwara when I was about to get married to him.
Wow.
So, when you think about arranged marriages, that's an arranged marriage, right? That's probably is. And then how I've come from that to this is I think myself as more of a confident person that I was able to take that step, that I didn't want it anymore. I want to move on. I conformed, but I'm getting older now, and I'm an adult. I should be able to make a decision. Why am I going to waste all my life, waste his life also? And I want to now just be able to break it, and he won't break it. But so I'm going to take that step. And so I walked away from it after 10 years. So hard. It was a hard choice to make. I did it, and I knew that what I was doing was going to break every single barrier. I'd already broken my parents' heart by running away from home and then doing this. And this was at that time, as you probably recognise, that divorce wasn't really spoken about at all. It really, really wasn't.
So you were about 30 then?
Yes, roughly. Yeah, about roughly then. And so my dad didn't talk to me for a couple of months on the phone or anything, didn't want anything to do with me. My mum kept in contact with me, and then gradually we kind of built the relationship up. I think at that point they westernized themselves in terms of learning that, these things are happening in the world now. We've made a choice of coming to this country and having children here who are westernized, who are going to go to school with lots of westernized kids. We're going to have to allow them to live the way that people are living here and not live how they're living back in Punjab. So it was a really tough time. It helps to talk about it, I think, a little bit now.
It does, I get it.
Yeah.
I mean, I got divorced at 40 after being married for 20 years.
Okay.
And I'm one of the eldest girls in the family, so I know it was frowned upon, and it probably still is, but no one really says anything to your face. But yeah, you like you said, you're born here, you're trying to keep both values and traditions alive.
Yeah.
And it's hard. It's really hard.
It is very hard.
So I totally relate to what you're saying. Apart from, obviously, it really changed you. You said it made you confident. Anything else that you would say you learnt about yourself?
I would probably say I'm very stubborn for a start. And my husband now knows I am very, very stubborn. How it changed me, I think it changed me. I'm very spoken about stuff now. And I try to, if I hear about these kind of stories now, we're not necessarily in social media, but in back end of families who are maybe going through similar stuff, I try to put out there that, it's fine. I did it when I was younger. It happened to me. I came out of it stronger, more resilient, I feel. Did it change me as a person? Yeah, 100%. I mean, I was this weak, bullied person at school. From going from all of that to where I am now, it definitely, I think all this stuff needs to happen to me. I can't imagine what it'd been like if I'd stayed in that marriage and how I would have just had to conform to everything, having babies.
And can you imagine at the age of 50 still being like that?
I know. I just look at that. I look at the flip side of the coin. There is always a flip side to the coin, and it doesn't look very attractive to me at all. And I still do things that some of the older generation of the family probably think, well, still. I just don't care about it anymore. I really just don't care. And this is before I got onto Instagram and social media and met then tons of women who obviously are going through the same thing. But, I thought I just don't care what people think, literally.
Let me ask you a question. So I get this question a lot. And they're like, oh, but Vina, you're really lucky that you did it. I'm like, no, it was actually probably easier for me to stay than to leave.
100%. Absolutely 100%. And I think when you make that decision at that time, you're not really, you're floating up there somewhere and you think it's not really happening to me. You can definitely separate yourself, thinking, oh, that's not me, that wasn't me, I can't believe I actually did that. If I look at myself now, I think I can't believe some of the things I did when I was younger. I still think to myself now, I literally can't believe I did that. And I would never ever want my child, my 14-year-old influential child, to go through anything like that. This is why talking about it and having conversations about it is just so important for girls of her age now who are westernized, but however still have that stigma attached to it, I think, a little bit, just because she's female.
Yeah. No, I get it, because sometimes when I look back to, I don't know, the age of 16, 19 when I got married, I mean, I had 2 children by the time I was 25.
Yeah.
And I think, God, was that me? Like, I look back on it now to who I am now, but you have to go through that journey to become who you are today.
Absolutely. Definitely.
Wow. Okay. So you went through all of that. So what was your turning point that made you decide you wanted something different for yourself and your children? So I know you got divorced and you were in your 30s, and then you had your daughter.
Yes.
You got married again?
So I got married, had my daughter the same year. So I got pregnant in 2012. So in 2011, then I had her in 2012. So, he was English. So there was also, okay, what else can I do to really rile my parents up now, literally? So one, you have an English boyfriend, you're not married, and I always remember that time. So it was boxing. So he used to go home to his parents in Sheffield, and I would go to Wolverhampton to see my parents. And it was that Christmas. I was probably not 3 months pregnant just yet. So I wasn't showing or anything. Yeah. And I said, I'm going to tell them. So he said, you've got to tell them, literally. This is not something you can keep.
Yeah.
So I took the scan photo with me. And the idea was...
So were you married to him at this point?
No, we were thinking about doing it.
Right.
So this leads up to that. So I thought, I'm going to show her the photo and I'll show her the scan. So I was there for 2 nights only. And, I was 1 hour from leaving because we were about to go to Turks and Caicos for like a baby moon before the baby arrived kind of thing. So I said, okay, I'm going to tell her before I leave, before I get on the train. So I said, Mum, I need to tell you something. She came to my room and I basically said, give me your hand. And I just put the scan photo in her hand. She said, I already knew. I was like, how did you know? I said, like, what? She goes, you can just tell. I don't know what it is. Maybe there is some sort of instinctual thing there. But she said, I already knew. And she said, don't worry, I'll tell your dad, but you've got to get married. And we kind of left it that note. So then I told Matt, my husband now, and he was like, if you need this, if you need to get married because of this to stop any kind of anything else happening in your life, that's fine. So you know, we got engaged, we got married, and that, you know, really like settled it with my parents in terms like, you know, they've done the right thing, and we actually got married in Thailand. Just before my daughter was born, actually. And they were fine with it. They had to go to India. They couldn't even come to the wedding anyway, but we went with their blessing. And that kind of sealed it. And they kind of saw that he was being really respectable. And he was very against marriage anyway. But he said, but if it helps you and your family to connect, have this bond together, he said, we can do that. So I do kind of thank him for that, to be honest. So... but yeah.
Interesting what you said about your mum said she will tell your dad.
Yeah.
And that was quite normal in those days.
Yeah.
You know, like my mum would be like, you know, when I did one of the crazy things that I used to do when I was younger, I'll tell your dad.
I know.
It was almost like they shielded you and they would go and tell the dad.
I know. But I was scared of I don't know, your parents probably also, but my dad was he was like the scariest man alive to me. And now he's like so soft because he's got 2 grandkids, literally. I love him to bits. But he was the most scariest being to me growing up. And I think my mum recognised that. So, you know, I also grew up in a turbulent kind of household, as you can imagine, cultural, the men, the women, you know, it was just a very different environment. I grew up in a kind of, scary environment a little bit sometimes. So based on that, I was like, no, I can't definitely possibly envisage telling my father this kind of news. So she needs to do it. So I was quite happy that she did. And he was actually apparently fine with it.
Wow.
He was fine because I think she kind of said that they are thinking of, you know, getting married. And I think that was probably the big thing for him. Just I thought, for me, it was like, I shouldn't even have to do this, but I will. I was at that age, like, you know what, why am I going to cause even more risk? I can just do this. We love each other anyway. We're having a child together. We can just get married. And people will probably say that was still the wrong reason to get married, but here I am.
Do you know what? Everyone's reasons are different and, you know, it worked for you.
It did.
It worked.
Did.
And it made your parents happy, made you
Exactly.
happy. And, you know, you're here to tell the story.
Absolutely.
So today you're building a business and helping other women do the same. What is it that you're creating and why is it so important to you?
So I went into this. I used to work in corporate for years and years and years. And that came to an end last year, February 25. And I kind of thought, well, I'm not really sure what I want to do. But I followed this woman on Instagram. And she kept saying something about travel, earn while you travel. That's all it was. And I just messaged her, said, what's this all about? What are you doing? Because we like traveling anyway as a family. And she said, basically, you just book your own travel, but instead of giving the commission away to other companies, you earn it back yourself. That's all it was. And I was like, sign me up. I might, if I can save some money there whilst I'm looking for something else, I'll do this. So I used the platform for about 4 or 5 months. And then she said to me, you know, you can share it, as you can tell your friends and family about it. And then they can do what you do as well. And then you can earn from that side. So that's the marketing side of the business. And I was like, no, I don't really want to do that. I don't want to, you're telling me I have to go on Instagram. And I had never had an Instagram account ever. So I don't want to do this. This is not me. I don't want to talk about it. It's icky. It's sales, all this kind of thing. Just talk to people conversation-wise. You don't have to go on Instagram to do it. Just post pictures of your travel and people will get curious naturally about what you do. So I did all that, started that. And then I got to a point where I got really, really confident. So started doing stories. So you know what it's like when you do like your first talking story. They always like say, just don't watch it, don't redo it, just put it out there and just don't ever look at it again. And I did that so many times. And I got confident talking about what I was doing because I believed in what I was doing. I think you have to believe in the vision.
It's always easier then.
Absolutely. So I did all that. And then you kind of you find your algorithm of people that you want to introduce a business to online. And my algorithm took a real big turning point at some point. It started reaching out to ladies who were divorced. I don't know how I got, but I was looking at South Asian women, mums at home, or women who just need something for themselves. And somehow the algorithm picked up from that. There's a lot of divorced women out there. And then it kind of opened up it a lot more in terms of there's a lot of women who was going through domestic abuse. And the algorithm brought all these women to me. So putting all that business aside, which is great, it started showing me different people who then just didn't necessarily need my business. They just wanted somebody to listen to them and their stories. And I will always say this now, because I was the biggest kind of, that was one of my regrets. I always used to think, look at all these Instagram pages, all these women, they're so beautiful, all these Indian ladies doing makeup and everything, wearing all these fancy clothes. Everyone's got a story. And I've realised that so much lately, that some people have got such a big story, maybe more than, obviously more than you and I have. And all they wanted was to talk about it. They didn't need me for anything else than talk. And so it's definitely taken a turn. Social media for me has opened up something on a different kind of level, aside from my business, which I still obviously do anyway. Reaching out to women who want to run their own business, because, Indian women don't normally, it's not a route that they normally take. They get married, they have kids, they have their careers, but then they think, well, I want to stay at home on my kids. And sometimes the husband will say, you shouldn't really, you should just, just don't do anything.
Who's going to look after the house?
Yeah, who's going to look after the house? You can't be doing something yourself. You can't possibly think of earning more than I am earning. I've had that conversation with a few ladies before.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get these women out saying, well, you can, why not? Why are we living this day and age? What are you teaching your kids? That, if you have a daughter, that she has to marry somebody who's rich, who's going to look after her and who's not going to allow her to do her own thing.
And now there's women who earn more than
men. Absolutely.
Men, yeah.
100%. So I'm trying to advocate that we should be doing that. Think about your children here. What are you showing your kids? So this is for me, this is chapter 1 of my journey. So I know that you've had loads of people on your podcast who are, successful, have their stories, but, I want this to resonate to people who are thinking about starting something different, and it's possible, but it's the beginning of my story. And it's not somebody that, I'm not out here to say I've made it, but I'm working towards a journey and I'm working it for my children.
So if someone's listening and they're thinking, I'd like to join what you do, and they come up to you and they say, but is it an MLM? Is it, is it going to be really salesy? Am I going to have to do a lot? Am I going to have to go on social media? Because a lot of people don't want to do that as well. What would you say to them if they're listening right now? So you will find there are a lot of people who will say this is MLM. It is MLM. It's multi-level marketing. 100% is what it's not. It's not a pyramid scheme. So pyramid schemes don't even let me go there. That's the corporate world. That's when you're going for a job that you're never going to get, because there's a boss at the top, there's a ceiling, and you're never going to be able to break through that glass ceiling. With this job, you are your own boss. You can out-earn anybody. There is no glass ceiling. The more effort you put in, the more consistent you are with what your message that you're sending out to people, the more money you will make, 100%. I started off thinking, like I said, I didn't want to go on Instagram. I didn't want to be this icky person. But I don't really talk about my business. If you went on my Instagram, you'll see that I normally talk about just having a little bit more freedom in doing what I want to do. Women who should be able to make their own decisions, that you come to a point in your life where you want to change your life. It's the reach out. So I'm not really selling online. But then I've had loads of people come to my DM saying, well, what do you actually do then? You talk about all this women, empowering women. So what do you actually do? And then it opens up the conversations. I'm not that person who goes on about travel, earn from your travel. I don't really talk about it, because I want to reach out to people who may just want to talk to me, but also may want to start something for themselves. And I would say to anybody, it's a learning process, but you will grow as a person. The amount of confidence I've had since I started this, my personality's changed. I mean, I will talk about this until the cows come home, literally, because I'm so confident in talking about what I do and how it changes people's lives. I've seen it change so many women's lives. We have testimonials. I know people. So I've got the proof to back up what I'm saying. But it's each their own. It's not for everybody. This business is not for everybody. But it's for somebody who may want to do something for themselves. That's all it is. Do you do it full time now?
Yes, I do it full time. Yeah.
So you didn't have to go back to the corporate world?
No, I mean, I'm still doing a little bit of virtual assistant work, but I pick and choose my hours. I pick and choose my clients, which I can do from home. But other than that, I'm pouring into this because I completely believe in it. And for myself, I feel like I have a 5-year plan with this. So in 5 years, I feel that I will have done enough to kind of not need anything else. But it's, you know, it's a journey. It's a journey for everybody, and it's a different journey for everybody as well, I would say. But I've met some incredible people, I would say, online, just doing this, or just on Instagram, and the following of people who's just, yeah, it's amazing, the kind of people that are out there.
So if someone's listening and they're thinking they'd like to do this, do they have to go on social media?
You can do it off social media. I kind of thought I would. So I basically used to have conversations with my warm network. So I know at least, you know, X amount of people. We all know people who like to travel. And every single person travels. So it's a very easy conversation to have. I'm not selling, you know, a weight loss pill or a mascara, because then you have a niche market. This is travel. Every single person travels. Every family goes on a summer holiday. So if you can earn your own commission back, why would you not want to? So just talk to mums at school, talk to your friends at work. It's an easy conversation to have. And I think as you build up, as you start believing in it, people then do start posting about it on social media. But it's a choice. It's a choice, I would say. But if you really, really want the life and you really want to see that vision of having time and freedom, financial freedom, then 100%, you know, social media is great for it. I think, you know, strangers will become your friends first.
Yeah, I've had that.
Yeah.
And is it just Instagram that you use?
I use Facebook, but it copies it across automatically. I do a little bit of TikTok, but not really a lot. But for my main page would probably be Instagram, 100%, yeah.
And how much time do you commit to your social media and your business?
It's so it's very effort based. So if I would just want to do 1 hour a day, I can. But if I want to do 5 hours a day, I can. It's very, so if you want to earn a lot more, then you'll put the hours in. It's very much, you know, you there's no targets to reach or anything like that. You do it in your own time. You do it when you want to. So it's about, and we appreciate the fact that there are people who are working. And, you know, we've got doctors doing this. You know, we've got, you know, Dr. Scosi. She is a GP, but she also runs a beauty clinic. And she also does this on the side.
Wow.
And she's earning 6 figures from this business. So she's let go a few hours of her GP practice. And the beauty clinic she enjoys doing anyway. But yeah, it's people really enjoy it. People will just put in, you know, so I will never say that people can't say to me, time, I don't have time. I think that's such a bad excuse, to be honest.
I know. Everyone says, I don't have time. I don't have time.
If you want to change your life, you have time.
You know what? You'll make time for something you really like.
100%.
Or the financial freedom.
Yeah, exactly.
Like you've got a 5-year plan. So are you planning to retire at 55?
Yeah, they always say that, right? So I can imagine that I'll get to that point and then I'll carry on, and it will carry on. So after you have got to a certain level, you sign a pledge, which means that if something should happen to you, your earnings, which will continue, will be passed down to your children. So you sign this place, and this is a big thing in our business. The comp plan is absolutely insane. It's one of the best in the world. And people look at the comp plan, and they want to go for it purely because they know what it can offer them and for their children. And I'm doing this purely for my children. My tunnel vision is my kids at the end of it. There's nothing I need to gain from this personally. This is for my kids. This is something to leave for them. Because let's face it, we're living in the world that we're living in now, there's no guarantee with anything, jobs. And, you know, you can go to university with the greatest kind of, you know, thinking, you know, I'm going to come out, I'm going to be a doctor and everything. But there are a lot of jobs that aren't available. And AI, don't even talk about that. It's just literally taking over so many industries at the moment. So I want them to feel comfortable and not have to worry as much as we probably did when we were younger, having to work as many hours. But I just want them to have something as aside from their pension that they can rely on. So, yeah.
You talked about your pension there. So 5-year plan, you'll be 55.
Yeah.
And so does this business help you to supplement your pension?
Absolutely, 100%. So this can be literally bigger than your pension anyway. So I look at my pension now and I think that's literally not going to be enough to live on. I think probably most people these days do. And I have friends who didn't want to do this business purely because, like, one, they didn't believe in it. And they said, no. I said, well, you actually really want to work until you're 65 years old. I said, I'm not working.
67 now for retirement.
I think exactly. So I have no intention. at the end of 67, what are you going to get?
That's
You're
another
gonna,
17 years, Parm. You'd
I
have to
know.
work. Like,
No, thank
imagine
you.
that.
No,
17
thank you.
more years.
No, thank you. So like work the 17 years, you get a pension at the back. They might give you a gold-plated pen at the end of it, maybe. But aside from that, you're walking out and then you're 67. I'm in my years now where I can actually enjoy being
Yeah.
around my kids.
Yeah.
67, they won't want to go on holiday with us. They won't want to do much with us. They'll be living their own lives. These are the years. So if I can get those years back with my family, my children, why would you not? Why would you not do that now? And, we would never say to somebody, quit your job, start this now. It's not. Let's be realistic. This is something that you build on the side up until a point where you've made so much that you can give up your plan A. So this is my plan B. And I think everyone should have a plan B, 100%. You should never rely on your plan A so much that you don't have a plan B. So, in terms of like pension wise, I don't even consider that relevant. This is my pension. This is what's going to, continue in the long run. Pensions, no, it's just, you can change a prime minister, but the government policy is still going to be the same, unfortunately. So for the working industries and stuff. So, yeah.
I love that for you.
Yeah.
I actually plan to semi-retire next year, so I'll be 55.
Very good.
I do have a really good private pension though. So
Okay.
there'll be that, there'll be my businesses. And so I get it. I think when you're younger, you don't think about your pension. You think, it's years to go and I'm really young yet and I don't need to think about that. And then slowly it just creeps up on you and you think,
100%.
wow,
So like when I went my job last year, I was doing that for 20 years. And I was so comfortable in my job. I thought, this is great. I can just carry on. And then it went just like that, just overnight. It went overnight and I just wasn't prepared. And I really wish I'd come across this woman, maybe even a year before, so I could have started building it on the side. So I knew there was something else there. And why, it's almost like I waited for my plan A to fail before I needed something else to fall into. And I think these days you will appreciate also, entrepreneurship, having a side hustle, as they call it, or having one or two jobs or having a business. It's quite the norm, right? Who relies on just one job? I just don't think, and I'm definitely not telling my children to do that also. So when they hit 18, they're allowed to sign up to this. So even if they don't really use it, they can sign up and they'll be part of it and they can just put it on the side, park it and do what they want to do with their life, but knowing that they've got something else building on the side. Why are we not telling our children to do this?
Yeah, I never do just one thing. I just can't. I think I'd get bored. I'm always doing about 3 or 4 things at the same time.
It's good.
But I love it. And people say, well, how do you do so many things? But if you love all of them, it's quite easy and most of them are related. Or I had a guest on last week and apparently I did her hair and makeup 19 years ago.
Oh, wow.
And now she was a guest on my podcast.
Oh, right.
And I'd forgotten until she mentioned it when she was here. And I was like, wow. Makes me feel old, but wow, as a makeup artist who, I worked in the corporate world as well. I worked for a bank for 20 years.
Yeah.
And people look at me now, I'm like, oh, you worked somewhere as well. I'm like, yeah, I've done lots of things, but it makes you who you are today.
Absolutely.
All that life experience from when we were trying to run away with our black bags.
I know, with our utensils, kitchen utensils.
I
and
didn't take the kitchen utensils.
Frying pan?
Really?
Literally. I don't know what I was thinking I was doing. I was going to do with the frying pan. And I think I remember going to a shop nearby. And, I left the house and then didn't actually have anywhere to go. I thought, what am I doing? Where am I going to go? Because I can't possibly go back home now because I've done it. And they'll be coming home any minute now. So I need to these little adverts they used to have, rent a room for,
rooms to
for
let,
£10 or something at £10 a night. And I did just that. And then I went into Birmingham. Then I found this job where I was going around houses selling these dining cards. So my network marketing started really early, literally selling these dining cards, which was £40, dine as much as you like for 3 months. And I used to go door to door. I think I did about 150 houses every single day, just selling these cards. I was just getting paid commission. I'm not even sure whether I was legally allowed to work at that time. I don't know, but there was a lot.
So you weren't going to school then either?
No, I'd quit school.
Wow.
Yeah. I'd quit school as well. So, and I've gone on to the corporate world and I've earned a lot of money.
Yeah.
At some point, nearly bordering 6 figures.
Yeah.
Without any education, to be honest. Now, would I tell my children that? No. Not to go down
you
that
are
path.
going to school.
Yeah. But I think maybe it was always ingrained in me that I was going to do something for myself and not be indoctrinated in I had to go and work for somebody, and make their life. I can just make my own life. Why am I working to do his pension, to top his pension up and work life up when I can just do my own? So
you really are a true founder in the chair, aren't you?
Literally.
Thank you so much, Parm. So if someone's
you.
listening and they want to get hold of you and they're interested in what you do, how do they get hold of you?
So my Instagram handle is I am Parm Elkington. Mm-hmm. Everything's on there. When you look at my page initially, you'll probably think, what does she really do? But then just delve deeper into it. But this is a mum's community. It's a South Asian community. It's definitely driven by women, I would say. There's not a lot of men doing this. There's a few, but it's definitely more for women. I'm advocating for ladies to come out of their shells, come out from behind their makeup and just show themselves. And also I think we've got to be a lot more genuine on social media. I think not hiding behind something when you've got a different story to tell. For sure.
Thank you. Thank you for being so open and telling your story.
Thank you for having me.
I love it. Thank you, Parm.
Thank you.